Call the Newport City Council meeting to order. First, we're having a public informational meeting on a USDA grant application. The public notice appeared in the June, thinking of June, I won't warn by that, January 22nd newspaper. The City of Newport has applied for a federal grant under the USDA Rural Development Community Facilities Program to purchase new safety equipment for the fire department, including personnel protective gear, self-contained breathing apparatus. Total project cost is $33,333. Newport is eligible for 55% grant eligible. The city is requesting $18,333 from the Community Facilities Grant Program, and the city will be responsible for providing a match funding totaling $15,000. Comments from the public are welcome at an open meeting to be held at 6:30 p.m. February 5th, 2018, City of Newport Municipal Building, 222 Main Street, Newport. And we have the fire chief here who can maybe give a brief overview of the equipment and what's being...
Yeah, we're basically trying to replace all the bunker gear that we have. A lot of it's outdated. It's supposed to be rotated every 10 years. We've got some that's 15 plus years old. Most of it, I think, is well over that. We've got some that's just ripped and torn, not really safe, especially with today's stuff that we deal with, the carcinogens. If you ever read any of the fire statistics, whatever, one of the number one causes of firefighter death today is cancer. It's also going to help us replace some of our air packs. So that when we go into these buildings, hazmat situations, we have reliable air packs. We're running on 1997 editions, which we couldn't get flow tested this year because they just don't have the parts to replace them. So anything 2002 and below needs to be replaced. So that's what we're looking to do. By all means, this won't replace everything because you're talking $couple $100,000 for everything. We'll again, as always, pick away at the AFG grant. We did that again. That closed on Friday. Fingers crossed. So it'll be a help. It'll be a step in the right direction. And we do have the $15,000 set aside in my budget to put our share in. So
Good. Any questions from anyone on that? If not, we'll close the public hearing. And I will call the regular Newport City Council meeting to order. All members of the council are present. Others include Laura Dogan, our city manager, and James Johnson, our clerk treasurer. The second item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of January 15th, 2018, and also we need to approve the minutes of January 29th, 2018.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the minutes of 15 January 2018.
Motion's been made. Is there a second? Made and seconded. Discussion on the minutes.
Good.
Mr. Wilson and Mr. Schmidt. Any discussion? Then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carried. Now we need a motion to approve the January 29th minutes.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make that motion that we approve the minutes of 29 January 2018.
A motion been made. Is there a second?
I will second.
Made and seconded. Discussion on that. Then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries.
you're gonna have to abstain. It's not here.
That's right. Mr. Schmidt abstained. He wasn't at that. That was the.
Nor was I.
And I will vote aye to make sure that.
Yeah.
The next item is comments by members of the public. Anybody?
You may have planned to do this anyway, but Richard Barrow passed this week, and it seems like he was a mayor. And maybe we could have a moment of silence for a person who seemed like a really wonderful guy.
I was going to do that.
Okay.
Public comment. Any other public comments? Then not only should have a public, well, I can't even talk tonight, a moment of silence for Richard Barrow, but we also had another mayor pass, and that was Reynolds Shania, who was also mayor and alderman. And so at this time, let's have a moment of silence for both. Thank you. The next item, number 4, is coin drop review. And we received the request in our packet over the weekend, and Mr. Wilson compiled the dates and
First of all, this is a copy of last year's coin drop request. I think I have enough. City manager has one anyways. Y'all get one? Okay. Now, I went ahead and I'm going to give you a copy of what I think should be a coin drop request for this year. Somehow, I've been doing this for about 15 years, putting the coin drop request together. Take one and pass that along then. And once you take a look at it, I have to explain that there's nothing in November. And for 15 years I've been doing this. May and November were always done by the DAV. I checked 2 packets and then I checked the city managers today. The DAV never submitted a request. They always have. And then if you read the policy, number 8, a request for coin drop will not be accepted on or before 1 January or after 31 January. Well, I compiled the list yesterday. So we had enough requests where the VFW auxiliary were the first ones to get a request in. So normally what I did last year, if the DAV had there too, was I put them both as VFW and auxiliary, which, and then I told them share the money. Well, I don't think I have to this year. These are what personnel requested. So when I called the auxiliary, I said, well, you want May or November? They said May. November can be cold out there. So this is the list. As a disabled vet, I do support the DAV, but they never put in a coin request this year. They have, like I said, for 15, 18 years. So this is the list that's compiled, and it pretty well matched what everybody asked for, the dates that they asked for. So let's see, my proposal for the 2018 coin drops.
questions from anyone?
I'm going to assume.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, go ahead.
Question, so I read the policy and I'm wondering if this is made public at any time before or around the first of the year, so that other organizations might have the opportunity to submit a request.
It has been in the past. Like this year, sometimes they're notified, hey, get your coin drop request in. Every unit that's ever had a coin drop has a copy of the policy, yes.
So anybody new who might want to make a request probably isn't going to know about it.
That's why we rely on the newspapers. No, seriously. But that's the, those are our rules. I feel bad because, as I said, every year they get 2. This year they asked for none, so. I can't say they didn't know about it because they've had it for the last 15 years, 2 of them, so.
Right. And I remember we had to implement this policy because we had so many requests.
Yeah.
It could have been, we could have had a coin drop every weekend.
Yeah.
I hear mixed reviews on coin drops. There are people who adamantly can't
Yeah.
stand them. They really can't stand coin drops, and I hear about that. So that's why we implemented the policy, because we decided to have it basically one a month.
But they serve a purpose, they're good fundraisers.
Oh, they are.
The one, the Rep Parks and Recs is for the fireworks.
Right.
Fire departments, those are,
No, I know they do.
go back in the community, yes.
So,
So that's my proposal for this year.
you have,
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'm gonna assume that the rec department just made a typo on their request. I would assume they want that for this year.
I had assumed that when I read it.
Yeah.
That was 17.
Yeah.
I assumed they had just made a typo. Any other questions on the coin drop? Dates? Maybe what we can do also, Laura, we could put this, so we have it on the website, the policy, in that way.
Yeah.
We can just have people reference the website, you know, the coin drop section. Okay. Then I would entertain a motion to accept the coin drop request for 2018.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
And seconded.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion on coin drops? Then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion
Mr. Mayor, could I
carried.
add one more thing? When, especially the service organizations, sometimes they tend to not remember to put them in. And in the past, I know who to call. I don't know any numbers or anybody that's involved with the DAV, so. And it's not my job to get on the phone on a Sunday. By the time I got this, it was already closed. The window had been closed, so.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Thank you. The next item is state revolving loan fund bond documents. For the vote, Tom's here.
I'm assuming you have the documents up there to sign. What that is, back in 2016, we got our first state revolving loan fund for the 13-9. That was the preliminary study for the water tower on Derby Road. This is just a continuance of that for design.
Any questions from any council members on that? Laura, I'm assuming these are all these places that,
Those are the originals.
that's the original.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just seeing, some is just me and some is the whole council.
Yeah, it's complex.
So let's have, well, first, before we do start signing, or let's have a motion to see if the council wishes to continue with the state revolving loan.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Moore, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Made and seconded. Okay, any discussion? And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Let's see here. Do you usually sign the W-9s, Jim? You signed the W-9, or do you want me to just go ahead and do it? You do the W-9, okay. Needs to be signed by everybody.
You see that page?
And this one you have to sign also.
That's for Dennis.
That's for Dennis. There's a page in there he needs to sign. There's also this page you gotta sign, Exhibit C. I'll just pass the whole packet down. You have to attest some of these, Jim, too. I'll pass it down to you after. Okay. Pass that one down, that's just that. We all have to sign this one. Continue it over here.
Mr. Mayor, just, I might as well ask, otherwise I'll have to make it up. What is the loan for?
Loans for continuation of the design and engineering on the Derby Road water tower and the infrastructure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How much is it for?
70,
I think it's 76.
76.
It's in the upper corner of one of those pages. It's on your loan documents.
Yeah. I gave him those documents.
Can I ask a question about that? Is this $77,000 loan already borrowed for something that the city, or last time it was put to a vote, the voters said they didn't want one? And now we're doing the design for something that the voters said they didn't want?
So the best way to answer that is that the city council has unanimously agreed to move forward with continued research on the water tower. These are documents, this is a loan document that we've not yet incurred, that we now have the go-ahead to incur for continued design and engineering for the water tower.
It doesn't seem fair to me to be moving forward on a design when we've already voted against it.
The city council is continuing to research that project, and at this particular point, it's likely that there will be continued informational hearings and meetings in an effort to go to bond in the fall.
Was there a hearing on that? That was not the outcome of the hearing as I understood it. I'm really curious.
We haven't even started that process yet.
So how did the city council vote on this?
The council has given me the go-ahead to do this research.
How?
It was through a vote that, well, I don't know, did we vote on that, or did we just go ahead and give it the approval? But this is for a water tower that would be located in Newport, as opposed to the one that was voted down, which was located in Derby.
You don't know that that was the only reason that it was voted down. There were other parameters
That's true.
with regard to operating costs,
Right, that's
all
true.
other costs
Right, and.
that were still an issue.
Right, and if that is still gonna be an issue, and people don't want it, they'll vote that one down as well.
But the council has the authority and the right to have something be reconsidered.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're doing.
I understand that, except that hasn't been discussed publicly. Where is the transparency on
We
this?
mentioned it at at a council meeting that we originally were gonna have a vote town meeting day, and we decided to put it off because we
Right, so-
needed more research.
So now we're having the research. and then-
$77,000 worth of research? Wow. Without public approval.
This is the process.
That's a lot.
This is the process. The city council has the authorization to authorize that kind of spending. You elected us to do a job. This money, we're authorized to do this. Not everything has to go to the voters. I mean, that's $77,000 for research. We spend money on research and other things.
I'm sure you do. But I would have expected that as the city voted no, that there would at least be some discussion. And I'm not saying if I'm for it or against it, I'm just curious about the process. It's a little disturbing hearing it like this.
We did it at a public meeting. We said we were going to continue on.
Yeah.
We did. It was at a public council meeting.
We did, and we said that we would have a schedule of hearings, and then we continued to do our due diligence and realized that our first initial schedule was a little too aggressive. We would not have all the information available by our original timeline, so we've delayed. And we hope to go to bond another vote either at the August primary, if we're not going to be ready then, in the November general. Did I get those right? Good.
Have you found your piece of land yet, or are you still looking?
We aren't at liberty to discuss that at this time.
Still in negotiation.
That's why we can't discuss is negotiating. Put the city in, it'd be an unfair, it put the city at an unfair disadvantage to discuss negotiations in public.
Oh, no, I was just wondering if it would, if you've got a parcel in mind and you're doing this survey, it would just make it a little easier.
I mean, we have something in mind,
Okay, yeah.
but,
Couple options.
couple options, but we are not at liberty.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. All right. Oh, is yours stuck to the one I signed? Oh, it's in that? Oh, okay. The next item is wastewater treatment facility capital investment plan. Tom?
Well, I guess, assuming you all read the memo that I wrote to Laura, just want to keep things in the open. This is a couple projects that Pedro actually is heading up the wastewater plant that we've been looking at. The first small one was actually done, there was a survey done by Vermont Efficiency throughout the whole wastewater plant, which incorporates putting in a new blower. We hired A&E to do a little study on it. I'm trying to think what sheet it is here. One of the sheets in here explains the savings that we will save by putting this blower in. They estimated the project at the time at $40,000. We're estimating now it's at probably 60 or 65. Efficiency Vermont has said they would give us $10,000 towards the project. But the savings would be about a 2-year turnaround savings on that project. The other project is putting in our own dewatering system to dewater our sludge. We currently hire Senasac, who comes in once or twice a year. We're budgeting about $200,000 a year at the wastewater plant. 50 of that is maybe on the high end, but it's around 50,000 estimate that is our landfill cost. That cost doesn't go away. At the 150, we could keep budgeting those funds to pay off a loan within a 3 to 5 year period. Say we take out the loan for 5 years and pay it off with our operating costs. After that, we'd have about $150,000 savings. And a year. The electricity, they estimated to be about $24,000 a year savings putting that blower in. So we felt this was a pretty worthy project, but we'd like to fund it, borrow the money, and pay it back with our operating funds that we normally budget. Unless there may be an opportunity that I might find some funds out there, it might be a grant we can look at also, but we'd like to get the process going 1st of July if we start getting quotes and prices on the equipment. We can move forward with it.
There's plenty of room over there. This isn't a very, doesn't take up a lot of room then.
No. So I just thought I'd write a memo, let the council know what we're thinking, get your thoughts on it. I feel it's a great project to tackle, and I think we can do most of the work ourselves.
Questions from council members?
Tom, your interest rate that you received is gonna be 2.9%, and your payback would be approximately 150,000 a year you've got on here. Is that before or after you pay the interest off?
That I don't know, that'd be a Jim question. I got that number from Jim. I just come up with the project cost. We'll let you guys figure out how to pay it.
How many years you plan on paying $150,000 back? That's the question.
We could borrow it for take the loan out for 5 years, however we want to do it.
If it's for 5 years, that's $150,000 a year. No, 75. It must include it's got to include the interest.
We're not 100% sure right now. Of course, once we get quotes out there, we'll know really what we're looking at, what we need for the loan. But I'd say the loan would need to be more than 5 years.
Thank you.
And the reason why we have to dewater our sludge now, we used to inject it into the land up at, by Casella.
Airport.
By the airport,
Yeah.
because it was safe, the state at the time deemed it safe, and, but it's because of, what was it, arsenic?
Yeah.
And they had, right, and so we can't inject the sludge into the soil anymore, so we have to dewater it.
Because there's arsenic in water. That's why we're taking some of that off.
Right, right. We never figured out why the arsenic, because we have an arsenic treatment plant, we never actually figured
Well,
out
we're taking it out of our water, but we also take septage. And
from
we take-
another community, that's
We
right.
take derbies, so we're still getting arsenic at the wastewater plant, so.
Not only that, but the level for arsenic in the sludge is lower than just the drinking water, so that's a set of disadvantage. Too, no matter how much we take arsenic out of our water, we still have residual of some arsenic below the 10 parts per billion. So you take our arsenic level that we have still in our water, plus the septage we're taking from other people, and that it puts us over the state limit.
Which is a 10.
But some of the towns don't have an arsenic, they don't have a limit, or private septic tanks and stuff like that, the wells that do have arsenic in it. So, they're above the 10 parts per billion.
I know other communities are grappling with that whole arsenic in the drinking water.
But the problem comes down is not the communities, it's the single-family homes that we receive from the septic haulers that go to their houses and pick up the septic, bring it to us now. We tested it, and their arsenic, we've had arsenic as high as 0.2 parts per billion. So that's where it happened when we had to stop applying sludge, is because of the limit for sludge is parts per million, not parts per billion.
Billion, okay, different than the water. Okay.
So to answer Dennis' question, that 450,000 the amount Tom wanted to borrow. Right? We were in 2.9%, and if you pay $100,000 a year for 5 years, you've got more than enough in there. 2.9.
Thank you.
So you probably pay back 475.
I don't.
How much will it cost to operate the desludging equipment?
Do you know?
We haven't estimated that.
But I mean,
But we can, in my memo to the council, the 200,000 a year is to dewater and to pay the landfilling plus trucking. With the unit that we can buy, put into our own facility that we have room for, we could truck it ourselves, we can get rid of trucking costs. Is what the savings is gonna be. I'm sure there's gonna be a cost to us to do it, but it's not gonna cost us $150,000 a year.
no, because.
We were land applying it for around 50 or 60, so it's gonna be well below that.
Yeah.
Do you know what the life existence of this machine that you're getting?
25 years.
Okay, thanks.
It turns 1 RPM. The state of Energy Efficiency Vermont's asking me to run it at night when peak electricity is the cheapest. We're looking into maybe doing that with our SCADA system and stuff like that. So we'll save money on electricity even further. Plus, instead of using drinking water, we're going to use reclaimed water out of the plant, so we won't be using drinking water, which will lower the cost of the operations even more. And the unit that Centerside uses is a lot more energy, use a lot more energy than the fan press that we're looking at. So we'll probably cut our cost of operations by about a quarter to operate the machine. And it costs us $205 a truckload to have Casellas haul it, so we'll save about $10,000 a year trucking alone on top of the other savings that we'll have.
Good. Any other questions? Then we would need a vote to proceed with this.
Mr. Mayor, I will make a motion to proceed with this project as proposed, including the loan applications and all the accompanying components.
So a motion be made, is there a second? Made and seconded. Discussion.
Well, this is, our vote just to continue to go forward. But before we borrow money, we'll need the total cost and all that.
Right,
We'll bring that up.
Okay.
right, this is just the estimate, but you're gonna put out RFPs, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'll come back with
Yeah.
hard numbers.
Then,
Well, just
should I
ask that so
rephrase,
people know that.
should I rephrase my
it's not
my
done yet.
motion then?
Okay.
You could just,
I'll bring in loan documents like I do for every.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, any other discussion then?
Oh, I mean, to thank Tom and Pedro for the work done and the research, and well, Pedro for explaining it at some length to me a few months ago. But the depth of knowledge and the quality of this work is exceptional. So, thank you.
So the motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to new business. One thing that I do have, which didn't make the agenda, but it's something that we have to sign every year, is our highway mileage. It didn't make the agenda, but it's just the standard form that Tom gets that we have to sign as a council. We have a total of 37.659 miles of road in the city. And then this breaks it down. We just have to approve the road mileage and turn it over to the state.
Have there been any changes since last year? More or less?
No, I don't think there's many changes in the last 10 years or so on this. Basically, we have 6.637 Class 1, 6.64 Class 2, 23.03 Class 3, and 1.352 State Highway. That's
Very good.
the breakdown of the roads.
Does that need a motion, or is that just to be announced?
We can make a motion to approve the highway mileage if we sign it.
Okay.
Just-
Mr. Mayor, so moved.
Motion made to approve the highway mileage,
Second.
second by Mr. Wilson, made by Mr. Merriam. Any discussion on that? Then all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it. This is for the state aid to highways. That's why it's critical that we sign it and get it into the state, because it's all part of that formula for state aid to highways.
Let's go to you.
And then Tom will probably just have to mail it.
Thank you.
Okay. And the only other new business that I have would be the annual report went to the printers today. So it'll be a couple weeks. And it's been posted online, correct?
Yeah, it is.
But a printed copy should be available in a couple weeks.
Yeah, the online version is in color. It's nice.
All right, Mr. Johnson, any new business? Mr. Wilson? Mr. Bowen?
I am curious about this letter that was in our packet from the director of the Old Stone House requesting that we revise our policy on getting signatures for appropriations. And I'm just wondering where they stand in the process. Is
They're
it-
fine. Evidently, they plan on going up in appropriation somewhere along the line. And if they do, they got to get a petition, and they don't really want to do that.
So can you refresh my memory? Is it 7 years or 5 years? 5 years of getting signatures
5 consecutive years of the same amount.
of the same amount. And then they're exempt from getting signatures until they want to raise. So are you saying that Molly did not need to get signatures this
No,
year?
I assume they plan on going, they want to go up.
Uh-huh, gotcha.
No. Anything else?
No.
Mr. Schnett?
Yes. I would like to thank Tom and his crew for the work that they did over on Bluff Road, where that main broke. Working out there in very poor weather, very cold weather over the past week or so. So you did a very good job. I heard back from the neighbors, they saw you out there working very diligently, and they want to thank you as well.
Thank you. Anything else? Anything else? No. Sorry. New business?
I'd like to thank the rec department, though unfortunately the Wind Festival coincided with the Canusa curling tournament. That was also a great time, and I would also like to commend all those who helped with as a great example of international cooperation as it is, but the great fun that we have and how just great the whole ice maze and ice castle looks, and just what a great rec department we have. I think they deserve a commendation for that.
It was quite a crowd.
Yeah. Pictures made it look like a great time, so sorry I missed it.
Okay.
And one other thing, this coming weekend, we're gonna have the women's ice pong hockey tournaments.
The snow machines didn't do anything to the course?
No, they're separate cars.
Oh, a separate, because I thought it was where you were working the other day.
No, I was on the oval.
You were on the oval, they were farther south then. Oh, okay. Because I saw that and I didn't know if they were going on your oval. Okay. Any new business?
Just to thank the city council members who acknowledge how great our staff is. I appreciate that. We have a great employees, great department heads, dedicated employees, and you get to see it. I was on Bluff Road about 7 o'clock Friday night. They were still working on that. So just acknowledgement to the council for recognizing what a great group of people worked here.
You know, I think after I made the initial call, they were there within a half hour.
I'm sure. Good.
Okay, anything else on new business?
Not for me, thank you.
Okay, and we'll move old business, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Wilson. Any old business?
No.
I don't think I have any old business. Mr. Schnett?
No, it's me.
Mr. Marion?
No, thank you.
No old business? Okay. Then we need to set the next meeting date. Will be Monday, February 19th. And then an informational meeting about the annual meeting will be Monday, March 5th. That'll be held at the Gateway. We have town meeting on March 6th. And then the Centennial Planning Committee meeting will be February 6th, tomorrow at 5 p.m. here.
Can I make a correction? That should read 4:30 to 6:30.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, sorry about that. I just noticed that. We usually meet 5 to 7,
Right.
but tomorrow is 4:30 to 6:30, so we don't bump into the planning commission.
All right.
Mr. Mayor? I don't think the informational meeting before town meeting has ever been at the Gateway. Is that correct? Why are we having it at the Gateway?
It's the 100th.
It's the actual 100th anniversary of the city, and we're having a regular meeting, but we're also going to have an event after.
Oh. Is that event public?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's been publicized. But it's been
It's the city's 100th year since they were formally organized, March 5th, 1918. So we're holding the city council's meeting will be at 6:30 at that particular venue. And when the council is done with their business, we're gonna move into a birthday party for the city. So we will have cake. The Centennial Committee has been actively working on unearthing some historical things and generating some new stuff, so we're gonna have some things on display, and then we're gonna have fireworks. So it's a big deal. So we hope that people will come out. We did start to publicize it, and hopefully that'll be a really nice evening.
And we will have somebody from the post office there,
Excellent.
postmarking the cachets for the city.
We're gonna put the details on the event tomorrow, so we'll have more to report about it, I think, on the 19th.
And you still have my envelopes?
Yes, I do, they're in my car, so they can sound nice and dry. I'll have them for tomorrow night. I'll have them up here.
Okay,
Good.
all right. Now,
I came in late, so I missed, I don't know if you had a public comment. Is it still possible just to mention one thing that I feel is important?
okay, I'll let you.
I don't know if anybody has talked to the receiver. One of the problems, I won't say it's a problem, but it might help the city. He's still asking a lot of the people that are getting their money back, the investors, if they want to invest, still invest their money. The problem that I have is he wants to funnel all that money to New York. And I think it would be a good idea if somebody in some way, somehow could get a hold of him and say it might be a good idea if some of that could come this way, what Newport has been through. So I don't know, I know you said we had talked to discussions that Newport had been a little, I don't want to say poor on money for projects, so checking into it. But that might be a good idea if some of that money could come this way, Paul. Instead of some big building in New York that he said.
Well, that, I don't know all his details.
This was in the paper.
I think that's a requirement of the court settlement. That's
He has to pay off all the creditors first.
He's gotta pay off all the
There's money left to
creditors.
go around.
all that money
Right, but
coming
he's
in.
asking some of the creditors if they don't want their money back. If the money is there for them, they can invest it back. He wants to funnel that money off to New York, to a big project down there. So all I'm saying,
I don't know if I read that in
paper.
the paper, did I read that?
You will.
That was,
That's not an EB5 project, let's put it that way.
What?
That's not an EB5 project.
No.
So the money is
if they wanna, just ask if they wanna reinvest
right,
in other EB5 projects.
But this wasn't EB.
But this
This
wasn't
wasn't EB5.
This wasn't purchased with
Private
EB5
JP,
monies.
right.
That's the difference here.
private JP. It
Yeah, this was not
nothing to do with
EB5
well, I
monies.
mean,
Yeah, I know.
the
But
space
they're
up
looking,
to.
they're looking at EB5 projects in New York. This is not EB5.
ANC Bio was though, and those
How about
investors
Bio?
are being asked the
Right.
same thing.
So the money they invest has to be EB5 then,
Yes.
Yes.
but it might be something to maybe help up the bio
That was an
spot.
EB5 project.
That was.
That was EB5.
Doesn't hurt to ask the receiver.
Well, he's gonna have to give the money back to the creditors, and they'll invest it back if they want to. He can't tell them to invest it.
Right, and he
That's
also
what I'm
has,
saying.
but he also has to get permission on everything from the SEC too. I don't think he can just direct the money. He has to have permission from the powers to be.
Right. But I'm just saying, the idea of not mentioning maybe I can do some good work up here, just push it off to New York, it's like saying, same thing with the whole, it's like saying, we don't matter. Yeah, I guess it's like, I understand what he's got to do. And maybe somebody's make a suggestion then, maybe be a little bit more careful what he's telling the paper. And that's not the paper's fault. If he's saying that, the paper is printing what he's saying.
The paper, at least my paper, will be printing what the legal document said. It will say what he told the judge. And if he's telling the judge something that's nonsense, that could have repercussions.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Adjourn.
Yep. Need a motion to adjourn at 19:15.
So moved.
It's a tie.
Ladies first.
All right, second. Put Mrs. Shinet as a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We're adjourned.